Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hi everyone, my name is Alifa Anasya Putri. Today I'm going to present to you my analysis of the journal article titled The Flip Experience of Chinese University Students Studying English as a Foreign Language in terms of its transitivity and the register system. So my part is the abstract and the first paragraph of the journal articles. Because I got the part of the abstract and the first paragraph of the articles, here are some of the clauses that I'm going to analyze and present here. And the first clause is that traditional teacher-fronted instruction and lecture-based learning often leads students to become passive in the classroom. So the word that here is act as the conjunctive adjunct, which is classified as linker enhancing. The theme is traditional teacher-fronted instruction, and the rest is the rhyme. The mood is traditional teacher-fronted instruction and lecture-based learning, and the rest is the residue. So the mood is also act as the subject of the clause, and the word often here is the circumstantial adjunct of the mood, and the word lead here is the predicator, and the rest is the complement of the mood. So in terms of transitivity system, the participant here is traditional teacher-fronted instruction and lecture-based learning, which is also classified as the participant actor. And then we have often here a circumstance of temporal, and the process is classified as material process, and that is the word lead. And then we have another participant, which is the goal, and that is students to become passive in the classroom. The participant actor of the clause here is also classified as a nominal group, which noun head is the word instruction and learning, because there is the conjunction and in this group, which is act as a instanding, additive, and positive conjunctive adjunct. So the first noun head, which is instruction, is also pre-modified by two adjectives, which are traditional and teacher-fronted, and therefore that is classified as the classifier. And then the word often here is the adverb of time, and the word lead here, or as I mentioned before, which is the material process, it is the verb, and it is classified as lexical verb because it is the main verb of the clause. And then we also have another nominal group here, which is students to become passive in the classroom. So the noun head of this group is the word students, and it is post modified by a rank shifted prepositional phrase. So it is act as the qualifier or post modifier of the word students. And in the phrase, we have the prepositional to, and then we have the word become, which is the non-finite verb because it is not the main verb of the clause. And we also have the word passive here, which is the adjective. And we also have another prepositional phrase, but this one is different because this prepositional phrase is a ranking phrase, which is act as a circumstantial adjunct for the verb become, and that is in the classroom. So in the phrase we have the prepositional in, and then there is also a nominal group in the prepositional phrase, which is the word the classroom, and the noun head of this group is the word classroom, and it is pre-modified by a determiner the, therefore it is classified as the dialectic. Now for the second clause, it is the number of teachers flipping traditional classrooms is on the rise. So as you can see, the theme is the number of teachers flipping traditional classrooms, and the rhyme is on the rise. The theme is also act as the mood and the subject, and the word is the predicator of the mood, and the rest is the complement. And in terms of transitivity system, the participant here is classified as the token, and that is the number of teachers flipping traditional classrooms. And the process is the process of identifying, and that is the word is. And the participant is participant of value, and that is the phrase on the rise. And the token here, the participant token here, is also classified as a nominal group, which noun head is the word number, and it is pre-modified by a determiner the didactic, and it is also post-modified by a prepositional phrase, the rank-shifted prepositional phrase. In the phrase, we can find the prepositional of, and then we also have a noun teachers, and we have the verb, non-finite verb, and that is flipping. And we also have another nominal group, that is traditional classroom. And traditional here is classified as classifier, and the classroom is the head of the group. As for the word is, or the process, it is the verb, and it is lexical verb because it is the main verb of the clause. For the participant value, we have here as the prepositional phrase, but this one is ranking prepositional phrase, and it is act as a circumstantial adjunct for the verb is. In the phrase, we can find a prepositional on, and then there is also a nominal group, which noun head is rise, and it is pre-modified by a determiner they, therefore it is called didactic. Now let's move on to the third clause, or the last clause, which is and has become a hot topic in educational circles around the world. Here we have the word and, which is act as a conjunctive adjunct, and that is extending additive positive conjunctive adjunct. And we have the theme, which is has become, and the rest is the rhyme. In this clause, we don't have the mood and the subject because it is actually a continuity clause from the previous one, and it is linked by the conjunctive adjunct and. So the rest of this clause is only a residue. However, we have the predicator here, which is the word has become, and the rest is the complement. And in terms of transitivity system, we have here a material process, and that is has become, and the participant is participant of goal, that is a hot topic in educational circles around the world. The material process here is also classified as a verbal group, which we have the word has, it is the verb and it is the auxiliary verbs, and the word become is the lexical verb because it is the main verb of the clause. And the participant goal of this clause is also classified as a nominal group, which noun head is the word topic. It is pre-modified by a determiner a and the adjective hot, and that is a classifier of the post modifier. And it is also post-modified by a rank-shifted prepositional phrase. In the phrase, we can find a prepositional in, and then we also have another nominal group in the phrase, which noun head is the word circles. It is pre-modified by a classifier educational and post-modified by a rank-shifted prepositional phrase. In the phrase, we can find the prepositional around, and then we have another nominal group, which is the world, and it is pre-modified by a determiner the, and the noun head of the group is the word world. So that is all the analysis of the transitivity system as well as the group and the phrases on the clause. Now we have the register analysis of my part in the text. So the first one is field. According to Halliday et al., field is seen as a context which motivates the production of additional or experiential meanings in the text. Field also influences additional meaning of each clause. In the context of academic writing like this one, field provides the purpose of the text, choice of grammar in the text, whether it was written or spoken. So in order for it to be measured, field needs to be realized through a system of analysis which is concerned with participants, processes, and circumstances. or also known as the Transitivity System. As it can be seen from the table analysis of Transitivity System, the participants of this text is mostly actor and goal, and some others are token and value participants. Whereas the processes are mostly material and with some of relational process, specifically identifying, and the processes are mostly in present tense. As for the circumstances, most of them are manner in means. In conclusion, since the participant flipped classroom is often mentioned, so the text above is about the flipped classroom and how it results students in more positive attitudes to the language learning experience. The next one is tenor of the text. So according to Holiday, tenor expresses the relationships between participants in the text. Tenor is also used by writers to draw readers to certain points of view about the content. Therefore, tenor encompasses opinions, feelings, and relationships that are reflected in the use of language. And in order for it to be measured, tenor can be realized through linguistic markers of mood, finite modal operators, comment, and mood adjunct to express the writer's attitude towards the whole message in the clause, personal pronouns, and the last one is voice, whether it was active or passive. In the text, it can be identified that the mood is mostly indicative, specifically is declarative mood. There are also some finite modal operators that can be found in the text, such as may, can, and could. And as for the adjuncts, there are some of common adjuncts that can be found, such as quiet and actually, and mood adjuncts such as urgently and often. And as for the personal pronouns that can be found that are used in the text is in the form of third person plural, which is the word they. And the voice is mostly in the form of active voice. However, there are also some of passive voice forms to express that the clause put more emphasis on what happened or is done to the thing or the person rather than the doer itself. The last one is mode of the text. According to Jared and Wicknell, mode of discourse refers to how language is being used, whether the channel of communication is spoken or written, or language is being used as a mode of action or reflection. It can be seen clearly that the text is made in written channel and the language is used as a mode of reflection instead of actions, since it is used to reflect the writer's ideas or thoughts about the flipped English foreign language classroom as well as the students' experience, specifically the students in Chinese university who are studying English as a foreign language. That's all for my analysis in the terms of transitivity and the register of the text. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Bynta Ayu Hanifa and I'm in charge to explain my analysis in terms of transitivity and the register system for paragraph 2 and 3 of the article. Here are some clauses that I'm going to present. The first clause is because most knowledge in the flipped model is delivered by video clips. So, the word because acts as the binder, which is classified as causal and causal condition, and for reason in specific. Then, most knowledge act as the mood, while the rest act as the residue. The mood also classified as the subject of the clause, and the sentence in the flipped model act as the circumstantial adjunct. Next is delivered act as the predicator, then by video clips act as circumstantial adjunct. In terms of transitivity system, the participant here is most knowledge, which is also classified as the participant actor. Then we have in the flipped model as circumstances of place or spatial, and the process is classified as the material process, and that is the sentence is delivered. We also have another circumstance, which is circumstance of accompaniment in the sentence by video clips. The participant actor here also classified as the nominal group, which noun head is the word knowledge. The noun head is pre-modified by noun numerative, which is the word must. The circumstance place here also classified as the prepositional phrase in terms of ranking and circumstantial adjunct. Then the prepositional phrase has preposition, which is the word in, and a nominal group. The nominal group's noun head is the word model, and it is pre-modified by noun deictic in the word the, and noun classifier in the word flipped. The material process also divided into two kinds of verbs, which are auxiliary verb for the word is, and lexical verb for the word delivered. The circumstance accompaniment here also classified as the prepositional phrase in terms of ranking and circumstantial adjunct. Then the prepositional phrase has preposition, which is the word by, and a nominal group. The nominal group's noun head is the word clips, and it is pre-modified by noun classifier in the word video. The second clause is flipping also affords teacher the opportunity to see the process. The word flipping is the mood, and the rest is the residue. The mood is also considered as the subject of the clause. Then we have the word also, which is classified as the conjunctive adjunct. The word affords, which is classified as the predicator. The word teachers, which is classified as the complement. And the sentence, the opportunity to see the process, which is classified as the circumstantial adjunct. In terms of transitivity system, there are two participants here, which are flipping as in the actor, and teachers as in the goal. The conjunctive adjunct also classified as extending and additive positive. Then the process is considered as the material process, which is also a lexical verb. And the circumstantial adjunct also classified as circumstance of manner, which has nominal group and prepositional phrase in it. The nominal group's noun head is the word opportunity, and it is pre-modified by noun deictic, which is the word the. While the prepositional phrase has a preposition, which is the word to, a finite verb, which is the word see, and a nominal group, which the noun head is the word process, and it is pre-modified by noun deictic, which is the word the. The third clause is in CLT classrooms, activities should be meaningful. In this clause, the mood is in CLT classroom activities, while the rest is the residue. In CLT classrooms classified as the circumstantial adjunct, activities classified as the subject, should classified as the finite, and be meaningful classified as the predicator. In terms of transitivity system, the circumstantial adjunct classified as the circumstance of place or spatial, which is also classified as the prepositional phrase. The prepositional phrase has a preposition, which is the word in, and a nominal group, which the noun head is classroom, and it is pre-modified by noun classifier, which is the word CLT. The subject classified as the participant, as in censor participant, and also classified as the noun head. The sentence should be meaningful, classified as the mental process, which is then divided into three parts, where the word should is modals, the word be is auxiliary verb, and the word meaningful is adjective. Now we have the register analysis from my part. The first one is field. Field is seen as the context which motivates the production of ideational or experiential meanings in a text. It describes the activities and processes that are happening at the time of speech, and the parameter focuses on the entire situation. It also influences ideational meanings of clauses. In order for it to be measured, fields needs to be realized through the system of analysis which is concerned with participants, processes, and circumstances. From the two paragraphs I've analyzed, I can see that first, participants are mostly actor and goal, and some with token and value. Second, processes are mostly material with some of relational process or identifying. Third, circumstances are mostly in manner or means. In conclusion, since the flipped model and its benefit is often repeated, the field in my part is about the benefit of flipped model in a language classroom. Next is the tenor of the text. Tenor of discourse is a part of context of situation that deals with what is done by participants. It talks about the people take part in an event, the type of role interaction, the set of relevant social relations, whether it is permanent or temporary. Tenor can be realized through linguistic markers of mood, finite modal operator, command and mood adjunct, personal pronouns, and voice, whether it is active or passive voice. After I've analyzed my part, I can conclude that first, the mood is indicative or declarative. Second, the finite modal operators are can and should. Third, the command adjunct which express a writer's attitude towards the message of a whole clause are particularly and eventually. Fourth, mood adjunct which is to express the writer's attitude towards the message are most, effectively, and collaboratively. Fifth, the personal pronouns is mostly third person plural, which is they. Sixth, the voice that is used is mostly in the form of active voice. However, there are also some of passive voice forms. Finally, we have mode of the text. Mode of discourse refers to how language being used, whether the channel of communication is spoken or written, and the language is being used as a mode of action or reflection. After analyzing my part, I can conclude that the two paragraphs can be identified as a scientific exposition text in which they discuss the benefit of flipping model in classroom. It is made in written channel and the language is used as a mode of reflection instead of action, since the text is reporting the event that has happened that doesn't show any spontaneity, since there is no direct conversation. That's all from my analysis for transitivity and the register of the text. Thank you very much.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Tsabita Salsabilla and I'm in charge for analyzing and presenting in terms of transitivity system and register system for paragraph 4, 5, and 6 in the text. I have picked 3 clauses in paragraph 4, 5, and 6 to be analyzed. The first clause that I picked is the flipped classroom solved this problem. This clause, we can see that the theme of this clause is the flipped classroom, and then the rest is rhyme. And then for the mood, we can see here that the mood is the flipped classroom, and then the rest called residue. And then for the subject, it's still same with the mood and theme. It is the flipped classroom, and then the word solves here act as a predicator, and then this problem acts as a complement. And then for the participant here, we can see that the participant is the flipped classroom, and then solved is serve as a process, and then this problem solved as a participant. And then we can see that the process here, the solve here, is called the material process. Therefore, the participant acts as an actor, and then the participant in this problem is served as the goal. And then the actor here, we can see that it is a nominal group with the head word is classroom, and then the flipped here, the word flip here is act as an adjective classifier, and then the is a determiner deictic. And then the solve here, the word solve here is a verb, and then for this problem it is also a nominal group. We can see that the head word is the problem, and then this serve as determiner deictic. For the next clause, we have flipping also allows for more individualization in the classroom. As we can see here that the clause is going to talk about flipping. Therefore, we can say that the flipping here is the theme of the clause, and then the rest of the clause is called rhyme. And then we can see here also the mood is flipping, and then the rest of the clause is the residue. And then as we know also, the mood consists of two elements. There are subjects and prenats. Therefore, we can say that the flipping here is served as the subject. And then the word also is served as the conjunctive adjunct, and then later we know that it is the type of extension, the type of conjunction that is extension. And then we can break it down again into addition and addition positive. And then for the word allows, it is the predicator, and then the rest of the clause is a circumstantial adjunct. And then the flipping is also served as the participant, and then later we can say that it is the actor, because the word allows here is the process of material. And then for more individualization in the classroom is circumstances. And then for the participant, we can see here that the flipping is noun, which is also served as the head word. And then the word allows here is a adverb, a verb. And then we can also see here that the circumstances consists of two types. The first one is from the word for more individualization is the circumstances cause, that is also purpose. And then for the word in the classroom is the circumstances of special. And then we can also break it down again, the circumstances, into a prepositional phrase, which is ranking for circumstantial adjunct. The word for here serve as the preposition, and then the word more here serve as the adverb of degree, and then the individualization here is the head word. And then for the next in the classroom is we can break it down again into prepositional phrase, which is ranking circumstantial adjunct. And then the word in here is served as the preposition, and then followed by nominal group. And then we can also break it down again, the nominal group, into the head word, which is the classroom, and then the determiner or the deictic, that is the word the. So for the last clause that I'm going to analyze is the clause before they come into the classroom. As we can see here that this clause began with the conjunction word that is before. And then for the theme here, we can see that the theme is the word they, because the clause is going to talk about them, about the word they. And then the rest of the clause is dream. And then we can see also here that the mood is the word they, and then the rest is the residue. And then we can also see here that the conjunction or the conjunctive adjunct here is the type of enhancing conjunction, and then that we can break it down again into subtype spatiotemporal. And then this conjunction is the preceding. And then next we can see here that the subject of the clause is they, and then the predicator is the word come, and then for into the classroom is serve as the circumstantial adjunct. And then for the participant here, we can see that the participant is they, and then the process is come, and then for the circumstances is into the classroom. And then we can see also here that the participant acts as an actor, since the process of the clause here is the material process. And then for the circumstances here, we have the special circumstances, because since the circumstances refer to place, that is the classroom. And then we can break it down again, the actor, into noun, and then they as the head word, and then the word come is the verb, and then into the classroom or the circumstances, special circumstances, is a prepositional phrase, which is ranking circumstantial adjunct. And then the word into here is the preposition itself, and then followed by nominal group. As we know that the nominal group consists of the head word, noun as the head word, and then the pre-modifiers. Here is the pre-modifiers. The pre-modifiers here is the determiner, deictic. Next, we have the register analysis. As we know that the register analysis consists of 3 elements. There are field, tenor, and mode. And then the first one is field. We can see here that the field is seen as the context which motivates the production of additional or experiential meanings in a text. Field influences additional meanings of clauses. And then in order for it to be measured, field needs to be released through the system of analysis, which is concerned with participants, processes, and circumstances. And I have found in the paragraph 4, 5, and 6 that the participants of the text of the paragraph is mostly about actor and goal, and then some of carrier and attribute. And then for the process, are mostly materials, and then with some relational process that is attributive. And then for the circumstances, they are mostly circumstances of manners or means. And then in conclusion, I can say that since the text mostly mentioned the supporting reasons for implementing flipped model in EFL classroom, particularly in China, the field of the text paragraph is about the benefit of implementing the flipped model in the classroom. So the next is tenor. Tenor is used by writers to draw readers to certain points of view about the content. And then therefore, tenor encompasses an opinion, feelings, and relationship that are reflected in the use of language. Tenor can be realized through linguistic markers of mood, finite modal operator, command and mood adjunct, and personal pronouns and voices, either active or passive. So in the paragraph 4, 5, and 6, I found that the mood is indicative or declarative, and then the finite modal operators are may, the word may and can't, and then for the command adjuncts there are generally and poorly, and then for the mood adjuncts there are usually and seldom. For personal pronouns, the third person plural, which is they, and then for the voices, the texts are mostly in the form of active voices. However, there are some that use the passive voice. And the last is mode. Mode of discourse refers to how language being used, whether the channel of communication is spoken or written, and then or the language is being used as a mode of actions of reflections. And in this text, in the paragraph 4, 5, and 6, I found that this text is made in written channel, and the language is used as mode of reflections instead of actions, because the text or the paragraph reflects the writer's ideas about the flipped EFL classroom, particularly in the benefits or the advantages of implementing the flipped model in the classroom. And then also there is no direct conversation and spontaneity. Therefore, I can say that this is the written channel and then in mode of reflection.
My name is Shafira Latifa, and here I am analyzing the text from paragraph 7 until 10. The first clause is a clause. The clause is yet in China. The yet is yet in China. It is a mood, and then it has circumstantial adjunct, and then the circumstance is place. While in China is a prepositional phrase, the preposition is in, and the noun is had, which means China. The word yet is an adverb. The second clause is the number of these well-designed CLT-based classes are few in comparison to the traditional teacher-fronted classes in which teachers disseminate knowledge to students who passively take notes. Well, the first one, and the number of these well-designed CLT-based until teacher-fronted classes is a mood, and from in which until the end passively take notes is a residue. It is a circumstance. The mood one, below the mood one, is a circumstantial adjunct, the circumstance manner, and there are also prepositional phrase. The verb are is a predicator, the process is relational, and it's an aux. The number of this well-designed CLT-based is a premodifier. The is a deictic, number of is a noun of its preposition. These are pronoun. A well-designed CLT-based is a noun classifier, and the classes is a noun head. In which teachers disseminate knowledge to students who passively take notes. is a residue, and there also a prepositional phrase. In is a preposition, which is a pronoun relative. Teachers is a noun. Disseminate is a verb finite. Students is a noun classifier. Who is a pronoun relative. Basically is an adverb. Take is a verb lexical, and nots is a noun head. And the third clause is and partake in rote drill exercises. And is a conjunction. It is an extending adjective. Partake in rote drill exercises is a mood, and also a prepositional phrase. The partake is a predicator. The process is material, and the verb is lexical. In is a preposition. Rote drill exercise is a post modifier. Rote is a noun classifier. And exercises is a noun head. Field is seen as the context which motivates the production of ideational or experiential meanings in a text. Field influences ideational meanings of clauses. In order for it to be measured, field needs to be realized through the system of analysis, which is concerned with participants, processes, and circumstances. From the text above, participants are mostly actor, processes are mostly material with some of relational process or identifying, and circumstances are mostly in manner or means. In conclusion, the text above is about CLT classes in China, works, and the differences of classroom situation in China and Western students. Tenor is used by writers to draw readers to certain points of view about the content. Therefore, tenor encompasses opinions, feelings, and relationships that are reflected in the use of language. Tenor can be realized through linguistic markers of mood, finite modal operator, command and mood adjunct, personal pronouns, and voice active or passive. In this text, the mood is indicative or declarative. Mood adjunct, which is to express the writer's attitude towards his message. The example is often the personal pronouns, they use the third person plural, which is they. The voice mostly in the form of active voice. However, there are also some of passive voice forms. Mode of discourse refers to how language being used, whether the channel of communication is spoken or written or language is being used as a mode of action or reflection. The text is made in written channel, and the language is used as a mode of reflection instead of action, since it is used to reflect the writer's ideas or thoughts about the differences of students in eval classroom between China and Western students.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Nurul Syamsiyah, and today in this video I'm going to present about the article titled "The Flipped Experience for Chinese Students Studying English as Foreign Language," and I will focus on the transitivity and the register system. My part is the 11th and 12th paragraph of the text. So we can break down the 11th and the 12th paragraph into 20 clauses, but in this video I will discuss 3 clauses only. The first clause is whereas a student in China might feel. So the word whereas here acts as conjunction, which is classified as binder, extending, and additive positive. The theme is a student, and the rest is the rhyme. The mood is a student, and this mood belongs to indicative, specifically declarative mood. The rest is called as residue. The mood also acts as the subject of the clause, and the word in China acts as circumstantial adjunct, and the word might feel here acts as predicator. Also, regarding the transitivity system, the participant in this clause is a student, which is also classified as the participant censor, and the words in China here as the circumstance of place, spatial, because it answers question where. And the process is classified as mental process, which is the word might feel, and mental processes are ones of sensing such as feeling, thinking, and perceiving. The participant censor here also acts as nominal group, which the noun had is student. Also, the noun had is pre-modified by determiner a, specifically diacritic. And as you know that diacritic is an element of determination in experiential structure of nominal group, such as specific or non-specific determiner. And the common diacritic is articles such as a, an, or the. The words in China here acts prepositional phrase, and in is preposition, and China is the head noun. The verbal group is might feel. Might here is modal auxiliary, and feel as a lexical or main verb of the clause. So move to the second clause. Flipping extends the borders of the classroom, creating a virtual classroom. And the theme is flipping, and the rest is the rhyme. The mood is also flipping. This mood belongs to indicative, specifically declarative mood, and the rest is called as residue. The mood also acts as the subject of the clause, and the word extends as predicator, and the rest is complement, specifically extensive complement. So extensive complement do normally follow the verb and is equivalent as direct object in the traditional grammar. Okay, next, in terms of transitivity system, the participant in this clause is flipping, which is also classified as the participant actor, and the word extends as material process. The rest of the clause is go, which we know as the direct object in the traditional grammar. Flipping is the head noun, and the word extend is lexical or the main verb of the clause. Then there's nominal group, which is the borders of the classroom. The head noun is borders, which pre-modified by determiner diacritic the, also post-modified by prepositional phrase of the classroom. And there is also preposition of, and the head noun is classroom, which is pre-modified by the word the. Next, there's non-finite verb creating, continue with the nominal group, a virtual classroom. The noun head is classroom, which pre-modified by the words virtual. Is determiner diacritic, and virtual is adjective classifier. So as you know that classifier is an element which indicates a particular subclass of the noun head. It could be the material, purpose, origin, mode, and others. The next clause is if this model is viable for Chinese learners. The word if acts as conjunction, which is binder, enhancing, or specifically conditional positive. And as we know that conjunction forms three subclasses, namely linker, binder, and continuative. The theme is this model, and the rest is called as a rhyme. The mood is also this model, and this mood belongs to indicative, specifically a declarative mood. The rest is called as residue. The mood also acts as the subject of the clause, and the word is as predicator. Also, the rest is circumstantial adjunct. In terms of transitivity system, the participant in this clause is this model, which is also classified as token, and the word is as identifying process, specifically intensive. The rest of the clause is circumstance, and viable is circumstance of manner or quality, and for Chinese learners is circumstance of cause purpose or tell what for. Next, the token also acts as nominal group, and the head noun is model, which is pre-modified by determiner diacritic the. The word is acts as an auxiliary verb, specifically primary auxiliary. And next, viable is predicative adjective. So as we know that predicative adjective is located outside the nominal group. And next, the prepositional phrase for as preposition and head noun learners, which is pre-modified by adjective classifier Chinese. So the next is field. Field is seen as the context which motivates the production of additional or experiential meanings in a text. Field influences additional meaning of clauses, and in the context of academic like this, a field provides the purpose of the text, choice of grammar in the text, whether written or spoken. And in order for it to be measured, field needs to be realized through the system of analysis which is concerned with participants, processes, and circumstances. And as it can be seen from the table analysis of Transitivity System, the participant of this text is mostly actor and goal, and some of censor, whereas the processes are mostly material with some of relational process, specifically identifying in present tense. As for circumstances, most of them are time or spatial. In conclusion, since the participant flipped classroom is often mentioned, the text above is about the flipped classroom and how it results students in more positive attitudes to the language learning experience. So the second element, which is tenor. The tenor of discourse refers to the role relationship between the participants, and tenor is used by writers to draw readers to certain points of view about the content. Therefore, tenor encompasses opinions, feelings, and relationships that are reflected in the use of language. Tenor can be realized through linguistic markers of mood, finite modal operator, command and mood adjunct, personal pronouns, and voice active or passive. And in the text, it can be identified that the mood is mostly declarative. We know that the declarative mood gives information about the text, and there are also some of finite modal operators that can be found, such as must, may, and would. These texts use mostly lexical verb. There are also some of conjunctive adjunct, such as in order to. The use of mood adjunct, such as possibly, and the personal pronouns that are used are all the form of first person plural, which is we. And the voice is mostly in the form of active voice. However, there are also some of passive voice forms to express that the clause put more emphasis on what happens or is done to the thing or person rather than the door. So the last element is mode. Mode of discourse refers to how language being used, whether the channel of communication is spoken or written, or language is being used as a mode of action or reflection, according to Garrett and Wignall. And for example, a mother talking her young child through a toilet training session is spoken channel, and language as action. Also, another example is Dr. Chris Green writing about toilet training in his book Toddler Taming is a written channel and language as reflection. So this text can be examined as a scientific exposition text in which discussing about Halliday's systemic functional linguistic, or SFL, and its related pedagogical practices. And it is made in written channel. Also, language is used as reflection instead of action, since the text is reporting the event that has happened that actually doesn't show any spontaneity, or there is no direct conversation. For example, flipping extends the borders of the classroom may have involved answering some comprehension questions or writing an essay outside the classroom work in the flipped model is more engaging and possibly less embarrassing, allowing students, for example, to record a response to a video orally, write an essay collaboratively online, or make a video with group members. So this is all from me. Thank you. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.